I, 25 male, have been dating a woman, 25 female, for a while and recently found out she doesn't want kids. So I've been dating this girl for a little while now, and it's the first serious feeling relationship I've been in since 2018. I was previously with a woman who I thought at the time was going to spend the rest of my life with and had bought an engagement ring for, only to find out she had been unfaithful weeks before planning to get down on one knee. Dodged that bullet thankfully. But since then I grew very cold and cynical and wasn't ready for something serious until this past year. I've been on a bunch of dates with women who it just doesn't click with, until this one. We clicked immediately. I don't like the term, love at first sight, but man, if there was ever a time to use it, it'd be now. We've got so many fun things in common and just get along amazingly. I'd told myself I wanted to take it slow with her, but back at her place one night, one thing led to another and she asked if I had a condom. I didn't, as I wasn't planning on getting sexual with her yet, but we ended up having some fun nonetheless. She mentioned something important though when I said no. She said, okay, 'cause I really don't want to have kids, like ever. You know that moment when someone says something and it sounds like glass shattering? That's what it felt like. The next day we saw each other again, and just while hanging out she brought it up and we talked about it a bit more. She explained her reasons, which I respect, but I've always seen myself as being a dad someday. I don't know if I can have kids, but if I can I'd like to. It's still early on in the relationship, but I've got strong feelings for her already and I feel that she's in the same boat with me. I don't know what to do in this situation. I've spoken to a few friends about it, but, not to bash on them, they haven't really given any advice other than, damn dude, I'm sorry. So here I am, asking the wonderful people of Reddit, does this mean I have to end things? Edit. Thanks everyone for the input. There's a lot of things that y'all have helped put into perspective for me and I really appreciate it. Wanting to change her mind. That's off the table. She said she doesn't want kids, I respect that. If one day she changes her mind then so be it, but I'm not going to try to change her or coerce her into anything. She's not wrong, I'm not wrong, it's just a difference of wants and needs. Plenty of people my age say they don't want kids and end up having them. Plenty say that they do want and never end up having them. The last serious relationship that I was in, she really wanted kids. At the time I was on the fence. But, because she really wanted them, I figured, fuck it, why not? After years of unprotected sex and still no pregnancy, it's put another thought in my mind that I haven't considered until after I posted this. There is a big possibility that I might not be able to have kids. I was with a woman who had previously been pregnant in another relationship and had a miscarriage, and not once did she get pregnant during our relationship. Since it's ended, I've had unprotected sex with other women. Yeah, irresponsible, yet still, nothing. The only option I've ever considered other than having kids of my own with someone I'm in love with is adoption, which actually came up in my conversation with the woman I'm currently dating. She's open to that later on in life, as am I. We also are still early in the relationship. We're both still in school for at least the next 2-3 years, so kids aren't something I want now. That's something for future me, early 30s me ideally. But if I can't even have kids of my own, then all I'm doing is overthinking things. After reading through these comments and talking more with friends, family and my recovery sponsor, I've come to the decision that it would be unfair to cut things off with her right this second, but also to take things slow. I'm gonna look into getting my sperm checked as it's actually something I'm a little worried about. A decade of being sexually active, oftentimes without protection, with more than one woman, and not one pregnancy, or pregnancy scare, is kinda reason for concern emo. Until then, we're 25. If she's open to having fun for a while and living just for today, then I think that's what I'ma do. I really like her, not love, still early, and I'd really like to spend more time with her and get to know her. I don't know where this might lead, but if we can enjoy the now together then why worry about 5-10 years from now? Verdict. Get my sperm checked, in the meantime enjoy the time I have with her. Once I get those results, reassess the situation and see how I feel in the future. Just for today I'll stop overthinking things and take it one small step at a time. Thanks again everyone. Kids is not something to compromise on. End it now. Edit. Regarding your edit. What the fuck do you mean why worry about the 5-10 years from now? Reddit is full of people who avoided this conversation. Waited too long to end it or ended up being a regretful parent. And all of them ended badly. Your friends are saying they're sorry because they see what you're ignoring. You aren't compatible. She doesn't want kids. You do. Not compatible. It's still early. Good. End it. You are extremely fortunate to discover this incompatibility so early on in your relationship. Many couples don't get to this place until years into their relationship, so count yourself lucky. She brought this up a second time because she doesn't want there to be any question in your mind. I'm sorry to tell you, but this is a complete relationship incompatibility. There is no compromise on this issue. It's time to say goodbye and start looking for someone who has the same feelings about having children. Yes, end it now. Imagine a future if you do have kids. She is unhappy and blames her unhappiness on you because kids were someone you wanted and she never lived the life she wanted. Add to that she divorces you because of that unhappiness. Leave now. I, 31M, am suspicious of my partner's, 31F, new friend. Me, 31 male, and my partner, 31 female, have been together for 4.5 years. We have lived together for most of that, so we're very close, have a great relationship, and we're currently looking at buying our own place. Last week she was away from Monday-Friday for a work trip. She works in education. It was a trip leading 20-30 students on a field course with other members of staff. Our communication was much lower than it usually is when she is away, but I do know that it was a very busy and hectic week. Since she came back she has mentioned a new friend a few times, M26, who she met on the trip. He also has a long-term girlfriend and they've been together for approximately 5 years. This friend works at the same institution, though in a different building across town. My girlfriend occasionally has to work at this building, but it has been quite rare in the past. This week she has been there more than normal. She has had good reason to be there when I've asked, but it's still been a departure from the ordinary. I know that there was some kind of medical emergency on the trip that meant the two of them were up until 5 a.m. helping a student. A horrible experience all round with absolutely no romantic undertones, but a part of me thinks that something like that will have cemented a bond, friendship. Maybe that's unfair. She told me that at one point last week he guessed her age and said 26. Then in disbelief that she said no, he says, "There's no way you can be over 28, I don't believe it." Cue massive eye roll from me. I've noticed her texting him a few times too this week. Not excessive, pretty limited. After last week they don't have any work together, so this is nothing about work and they are texting as friends. She hasn't been secretive about it and has told me when I've asked what she's laughing at when looking at her phone. They've sent a couple of quite old photos of themselves that fit a joke they were having. Alarm bells really started ringing here. Later today he is coming to her building and they're going to go swimming in the sea after work. This is a very common thing here, particularly in the circles that we are in, so it's not quite as niche as it sounds. But it is something my partner has wanted to do for a while but hasn't gotten around to yet. They're also going to have a pizza after. This morning I mentioned to her that I'm not entirely comfortable and a bit of suspicious of this friend. She was very sympathetic and loving, explaining that I'm seeing something that simply isn't there and she loves me and that we're currently viewing houses together, etc. I did feel a bit better at the time, but I really can't shake this bad feeling. She asked if I wanted to come swimming and for a pizza too, but I can't make it due to other commitments. They might bring the pizza back here instead. So there has been an offer to include me. She has other male friends and I've never had a problem before, but all these things combined seem like so many red flags coming up all at once. I trust and believe her 100%, at the same time though I feel like this could just be a ticking time bomb of sorts. Again, I believe her when she says this is 100% platonic. But I do feel like maybe she's enjoying this attention from someone new. Not sure what I'm looking for by posting here. Maybe just trying to get all my thoughts out and have a more in-depth talk with my partner later. Any advice on how to approach that conversation to set boundaries that respect that she is her own person and can have her own friends? Too long did not read. I am going mad with jealousy over how close my partner has become with a new friend in the space of 2 weeks. I don't know. Could be innocent. It does sound like it has the potential to turn problematic, but try not to let it consume you. You expressed your discomfort to her about it. She seems receptive to your concerns. Give it a little more time. See how it plays out. Nothing suggests cheating. It seems to be a growing friendship. You trust your GF. Maybe you need to meet this guy. You haven't met him and so you can't know his intentions. You have explained your discomfort to your girlfriend already. So, if it did become a closer relationship, she should be able to stop in time. That said, there is no way you can stop her from cheating. You can't control who she sees or when. She is the only one who can stop herself cheating. You can keep a watchful eye out, but that's about it. Good luck. Edit. Can't fixed. You have to trust your gut. Tell her you have never had a problem with any of her male friends, but this one make you feel very uncomfortable about the future of our relationship. Her answer will tell you if she values you and the relationship more or her new friend. Sounds like it's probably innocent, but I don't blame you for being concerned. Emotional affairs always start like this after all. Sometimes all you can do is talk about your feelings and wait for time to tell if your partner respects your boundaries. I would pause the house search. Don't get locked into something that might be an issue later. I would have the conversation about your feelings again. I will say that typically gut feelings are correct. Her downplaying the situation could be a red flag. Personally, I would postpone any furthering of the relationship, living situation until you are 100% confident that nothing is off. After that, I would still work with a lawyer to make sure your interests in the property are secure in the event of a breakup. My 30 female boyfriend, 28 male, always calls off when I have a day off work. My boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 30 female, have been together for 4 years. We've lived together for 3. The last year or so he hasn't had a car, sold it in March 2022, due to it being too expensive to fix. Since then he claims he's been saving for a new one, but I digress. We use my car and I drive everywhere. I have to take him and pick him up from work every day. Luckily we have similar hours, so it hasn't been too bad, but I don't work Fridays, I do 4/10s, and still have to wake up and pick him up. He does not have any friends, moved around a lot, and doesn't really go anywhere unless it's with me. We spend a lot of time together. I don't mind spending time together, but on my days off it's just a break to be alone in the house or go do errands I want to run and have a day to myself. Majority of the time though he always says he'll leave early or call off when I have a day off. Today I'm off on Thursday due to the person on Fridays not being able to cover, so we switched. I was hoping maybe it being a Thursday instead of a Friday he'd be less inclined to call off or come home early. Well, after I dropped him off this morning he's now talking about coming home on lunch, meaning I'd have to go get him. This really annoyed me because I have an appointment today, wanted to run around to do my errands, and do housework without any interruptions. I really needed a day of solitude because I haven't in a few weeks now. Last Friday I had off, he came home early on lunch then too. I have mentioned to him before that my days off are me days, and he just says he won't bother me or he'll make side comments about how he doesn't want to ruin my day by coming home. It makes me feel bad because all I want is a day to myself. I've told him it's healthy to have days to yourself in a relationship, but he disagrees kind of. Saying that he just loves spending time with me. He actually gets those solitude days all the time. Other than calling off when I'm off, he often calls off or goes home early just because or due to little reasons. IDK how he hasn't gotten fired yet. And he'll either walk home or I have to leave work to go take him home. I'd say at least once a week he calls off or goes home early. He already went home early on Monday, and now he's talking about coming home to be with me on my day off. How can I address this or fix this? I feel like I've talked to him about it before, but he just doesn't get it. TLDR, every time I have a day off my boyfriend also calls off. I never get any time to myself. Why do you want to date a codependent guy that is happy to just use you for resources? He has no incentive to change and will likely just get worse. Stop driving him to work. He will never save up enough to get a car if he doesn't work consistently. I've told him it's healthy to have days to yourself in a relationship, but he disagrees. His disagreement doesn't mean you don't need and deserve alone time. Dating is a time to decide if two people are compatible. It's okay to decide you are not, even years into a relationship. Is this how you want to live your life? Honestly, if he calls off from now on, I just tell him he needs to walk home because you have things to do, errands to run. Your car, your rules. He doesn't dictate where you go or what you do with your car, and he has 2 working legs, then he can walk. Don't let yourself be a pushover to him. No wonder he has no money for a car. He keeps calling off work. So you took a man-child to be your boyfriend, girl, don't. It's always easy for the person that actually gets alone time to not understand why you could possibly want or need alone time. He doesn't need it, so why do you? Because he actually gets it. You do not. It's extremely selfish for him to not understand this. Hopefully you guys can communicate better about this very important topic. Also, yeah, how the fuck isn't he fired? I, 24 male, found out that my GF, 21 female, of 15 months has been cheating on me with her ex. I'm still in shock from what I learned, so bear with me if the post is messy. I just finished my class and headed straight to my cousin to meet for her birthday celebration when suddenly a friend of my girlfriend messaged me on my lesser-used social media accounts. At first I was curious as to why she was asking if my girlfriend can see the messages and asked for proof that it was me that she was talking to. I thought that maybe they were planning some sort of surprise birthday since my GF's birthday is approaching. But then everything felt silent, as if my heart stopped beating and everything around me became a blur when friend told me that my girlfriend has been in contact and has been meeting with her ex for quite some time now. At first I was in denial, but then she sent me concrete evidence of photos of them together. She told me when and where all of these photos were taken, and then it clicked. Whenever my girlfriend tells me she's going out with her friends, she wasn't actually with her friends but meeting her ex. The photos of them were touchy and sweet, so I felt so sick that I excused myself from the restaurant table and proceeded to vomit in the toilet. I never thought that she has been abusing my trust in her and has been sneaky behind my back, and according to her friend they have spent some alone time, so IDK if they've done anything else. I'm so devastated and I don't even know what to do, as I thought I've been giving her everything she wants and needs, to the point that her family and friends know how well I treat her. Suyi. I feel shattered. I feel sick. I feel betrayed and feel the loss of my self-worth. Planning to drop off all her things on Friday when I get back home from the city and tell her family about everything before leaving her. Do you think I'm taking the right steps, or could I do something better? You should just tell them now and leave her immediately. Her things aren't your responsibility either, just let her know when, ASAP, and where, outside in the street, to come pick them up. You are the side dude, you know that, right? Planning to drop off all her things on Friday when I get back home from the city and tell her family about everything before leaving her. This is the way. Make it as clean and final as possible. Go no contact with her, so you do not get sucked into some bullshit drama on how it's not what it looks like, or how you somehow caused her to cheat on you. No matter what you did, how you treated her, how much you loved her, it all doesn't matter when your girl has low character or integrity. Not your fault she is a cheater. Best of luck, and always live life large on your own terms with no regrets. Walk away and don't look back. She'll gaslight you, manipulate you, and try to get you back. Don't fall for it. Get tested and make sure she knows you're getting tested because of her.